Hey there YouTube, it's Nick with Feeding Fitness. Today I'm going to bring you part 3 on my video series on creating a customized weight loss plan. If you haven't already seen the first 2 parts, links will be down in the description. Go ahead and watch those before you watch this one. If you have seen the first 2 videos, I'm going to assume that you have a target calorie per day goal that you're trying to reach. I'm trying to eat X amount of calories a day. If you don't have that, then you missed the entire point of the first 2 videos and you should go rewatch those now. But if you do have that number in mind, now I'm going to tell you what you need to be eating to fulfill those calories. It's a little more complicated than hit these calories every day. I mean, that'll work for you, but if you take it to the next step and do what I'm going to suggest in this video, you're just going to be setting yourself up so much better for success. So, what should you be eating? Now, I'm not going to give you a list of foods. It's not what we're talking about here. Any diet that has meal plans and I don't think they're any good, because you can't stick to somebody's meal plan for the rest of your life. You can't eat the same 40 or so foods every day for the rest of your life. Some super extreme people will do that. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good for you. I'm not going to suggest it. What I'm talking about when I say what you should be eating, I'm referring to macronutrients, or proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. I'm going to break down how much of each of those 3 you should have to fulfill your calories, and that is really where the weight loss plan becomes customized. This is going to be designed for you. It's not going to be the same for your buddy who doesn't have the same body composition for you, as it shouldn't be. People of varying body compositions need a different ratio of proteins, carbs, and fats. And when I say ratio, I'm not going to give you percentages or anything like that. That's such old school thinking. If you're on a 40-40-20 diet, if you even know what that is, get off of it. It sucks. That's old. I find that it's much more beneficial to base your diet off of your weight and your body fat percentage. These are the 2 things that we're going to use to customize your numbers. Now, I'm sure all of you have an easy way to figure out your weight. Everybody's got a scale, but most of you probably don't know your body fat. That's okay. I'm going to tell you how we can figure it out enough so that we can, figure out what proteins, carbs, and fats you need. There are a million ways to get your body fat tested. None of them are very accurate, so I'm going to provide you with one that is simple and free. It's not super accurate, but it will be close enough for what we're trying to do today. So, in the description, I've linked a website with an article which is basically just a series of pictures. They have them of both men and women at varying degrees of body fat. And this is going to be as simple as looking at the pictures and figuring out which one you look like the most. This is not a very accurate way to measure your body fat. I'm not saying that it is. It's going to get close enough for what we're trying to do here that it doesn't matter that it's not that accurate. It'll be good enough. If you have a superior way of testing your body fat that you feel comfortable with, go ahead and do that. But this way, everybody can do. I just wanted something for people who don't have skin fold calipers and have someone who knows how to use them, or have access to a bod pod, if you even know what that is. But that's not important. Check out the website, find which picture you look like the most, and we're going to call that your body fat. So, now that we have our body fats and our weights, we need to figure out one more thing. What is our lean body mass? Lean body mass is essentially what you would weigh if you had no fat on your body whatsoever. This is pretty easy to figure out once you know your body fat. I'm going to use myself as an example. I weigh 200 pounds. My body fat is 13%. So, if I take 13% of 200, or basically do 200 times 0.13, we'll find that I have 26 pounds of fat on my body. So if I weigh 200 and I have 26 pounds of fat, my lean body mass is 174. That's just 200 total weight minus the 26 pounds of fat. So whatever your body fat percentage is, just do it the same way. Say for instance you weigh 150 pounds and you're 20% body fat, well that means you have 30 pounds of fat on your body. So you take 150 minus 30, and your lean body mass is 120. I'm going to put all this down in the description too, or you can just always rewind the video at any point. But that's how we figure out our lean body mass. So we know our weight, we know our body fat, and we know our lean body mass. With those three numbers, we can figure out the rest. Let's jump right in and talk about protein first. Protein, super important for a reason I've talked about in the first two videos. When we're losing weight, especially a lot of weight, we want it to be fat. We don't want it to be lean body mass or muscle. We just want to cut the fat here. And I spoke earlier how losing weight at a moderate pace and weightlifting are two things that really help, and they do. But the thing that I personally think helps the most is keeping your protein intake high enough. Well, what's high enough? I'm going to suggest, and it's actually a little bit higher than what you really need. I'm going to suggest a little more than you need, and that's 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. I'm suggesting just a little bit higher. Most people will say you only need 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. I like 1.2 a little better for a couple of reasons. First, the way I told you to measure your body fat, I admitted it's not going to be super accurate. So I would rather overshoot than undershoot our protein needs. Secondly, though this isn't scientific, it's completely anecdotal, myself personally and almost everyone I've worked with in losing weight has reported that when they eat a lot of protein, it keeps them full. That's going to become very important when your calories are low, that you feel full. It's going to increase the chances of you sticking to the diet. So that's another reason I keep protein a little bit higher than necessary. Third, there's just no downside. It's not going to harm you. It's not going to inhibit anything. So I would just, again, err on the side of caution. I'd rather your protein be too high than too low. So we're going to take in 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. We'll go back to myself as the example. 200 pounder, 13% body fat. We figured out that's 174 pounds of lean body mass. So if we take 174 times 1.2, it works out to like 208, 209, somewhere in there. I'm going to round it to 210 just to make it an easy number. So my protein is going to be 210 grams. Next, fat. Fat gets such a bad rap. I know a lot of you are thinking, well, obviously he's going to say low fat because we're trying to lose fat. Well, you're wrong. And it's probably not your fault that you think this way. I'm not blaming you or calling you stupid. This fat makes you fat myth has been perpetuated by so many people, the fitness industry, magazines, television. They've got it all wrong and they're just passing that information on to you. It's total bullshit. Fat doesn't make you fat. That's all based on calories. So it's actually very important that you don't go low fat. Going low fat messes with the body. It can inhibit your normal hormone production for men. It can decrease your testosterone levels. You can find that you have a lower libido because your fat intake is so low. And generally, you're kind of a moody bitch when you have chronically low levels of fat. There's no reason to do it. It's not giving you any benefit. It's actually harming you, and it's making it more difficult for you to stick to your diet. So how much fat do you need to have? A general rule of thumb is 0.4 to 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight. We're talking total body weight now, not lean body mass. So 0.4 to 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight. So for me, the 200 pounder, that's 80 to 100 grams of fat a day. Now, my one exception is if you have a lot of weight to lose. I'm talking, greater than 50 pounds. Go to 0.3 grams of fat per pound of body weight. I mean, I'm not going to tell a 300 pounder to eat 150 grams of fat. That's too much. For most people, the 0.4 to 0.5 will work. If you have more than 50 pounds to lose, I'm going to say 0.3. That's still going to give you enough fat to maintain healthy hormonal balance. So now we know how much protein and how much fat we need. So that brings us to the final macronutrient, carbohydrates. It was put last for a reason. You need to know how much protein and fat you're getting in order to figure out your carbohydrates. And here's how we're going to do it. Now, a gram of protein and a gram of carbohydrate each contains 4 calories. A gram of fat contains 9 calories. This is going to become important in a second. We know what our total calories we're trying to hit for the day are, because we figured that out in the first 2 videos. For my example, when I'm trying to cut weight, I eat about 2,500 calories. So we're going to use that for the example here. We already know that I need about 210 grams of protein and 80 grams of fat. Well, let's figure out how many calories that are. 210 grams of protein would be 210 times 4, that's 840 calories, all right? 80 grams of fat would be 80 times 9, that's going to be 720 calories. If we add those together, that's 1560. So, I'm taking in 1560 calories in just my proteins and my fats. Carbs are whatever is left. So if I'm taking in 1560, and my total is 2,500, that means I have 940 calories left. Then I take that 940 and I divide it by 4 because there are 4 calories in a carb. That leaves me with 235. So, my diet, most days I'm going to try and hit 210 grams of protein, 80 grams of fat, 235 carbs. It's going to work out to be right around 2,500 calories, and that's going to be the optimal levels of macronutrients for me to lose weight and for the majority of that weight loss to be fat. And I'll put all this down in the description to kind of help explain it, but again, you may need to watch it twice, but this is really it. This is going to give you the proteins, carbs, and fats you need to hit per day. That was a lot of information, so I think I'm just going to shut up here. I think that's a lot right now. Please go ahead and read through the description. I'm also going to try and simplify this a little bit for you, and rewatch the video if you have to, because I want to make sure you get a nice, accurate level of protein, carbs, and fats you need to be eating. So, if you liked the video, please give me the thumbs up here. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already so you know when part 4 comes out. I'm going to try and get that out really quick because it's really just tying up loose ends. These first 3 videos give you just about everything you need. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. If you tried this for yourself and your numbers seem really wacky, ask it in the comments below. I'd be happy to help you. Or come over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/feedingfitness, and ask the questions there. Again, like I said, part 4 should be coming real soon. Until then, I'll see you guys later.